Welcome to Mural Backstage Pass. My name is Daniel, and I am the lead customer success representative in Europe for Mural. I'm with my co-host, Wout Lila, and we will also be joined by Shane Smart. He's not here yet, but for the next 60 minutes, we'll take you behind the scenes to how teams work in Mural. We encourage you to use the chat in the Q&A to offer your comments and also ask us questions as you go. So just feel free to ask anything that you would like. Our goal is to help you gain confidence in using Mural in a variety of use cases. With Mural Backstage Pass, we broadcast the work as it happens. So we hope this inspires you to use your facilitation superpowers in new ways with your team. So just to help you get the most out of today's session, we will call attention to the methods, Mural, and best features, and best remote collaboration practices. So now we're just gonna have Lila will be starting us off here. Lila, would you want to share your screen?
Yes, I can do that.
Perfect.
So, hi everyone, I am Lila from Mural. I'm head of culture and collaboration. And today we're actually going to focus on discovering your visual language at Mural. So it's all about figuring out how you can, when you're facilitating a session, for example, how you can make that a lot more visual with a very specific method. And we're going to use our values at Mural as an example. So we have a lot of values, company values at Mural. We actually have 6, which I'm going to show over here. And what we're going to do is show you how we're going to visualize one of them. So our values at Mural are the ones that you see here in pink at the top. So first one is make others successful, and underneath we have the description. I'm not going to read everything all out now. I'm just going to read the values. We have adapt to thrive, show up with a smile, generate wows, think global, and play to win and have fun. And these values, by the way, are values that we have come up with over workshops with our leadership team, with everyone else at the company during a company retreat last year. And they're in constant iteration. We are actually going to probably reduce these values as we see which ones we tend to connect with the most and also use the most in our day-to-day. And I think, yeah, this is what it is for the values. I think, Daniel, if you're ready, I can pass it over to you to actually facilitate the exercise.
Yes. Maybe like one question, Lila, like,
yeah.
Could you I mean, I know the answer, of course, but could you share a bit more like about how we use those values internally?
Yes, sorry, I didn't go into detail too much about that. So I will share one example. So of course, any new hire who comes to the company will be introduced to these values, and they're already introduced to them during the interview process. So we have value-specific questions also in our hiring process. And then once they join the company, they get a lot of information, of course, of what Mural is about and our story. But one of the examples that I can share that is maybe the one that is used most often at the moment is we have a channel in Slack called Kudos. And this is a channel where we show appreciation for other people at the company and let them know, when we're very thankful for something they've done. And we really want to see how we live by those values through that Kudos channel. So for example, if Wout stayed up really late at night to help somebody else in a different time zone, that person would do a shout out to Wout and say, hey, Wout, thank you. I want to thank Wout for staying up late, helping me finish my my project or whatever it is. So he was demonstrating, make others successful. So we use these hashtags, which is actually great. But also, if you know how Slack works, so Slack is this communication channel, you use every channel is also identified by a hashtag. So one of the conversations we had recently was, what if we had an image or an emoji or something that we could use for each of these values, so it doesn't get messy with hashtags for channels and hashtags for representing our values. So this kind of is also what inspired us today to break down one of these values and visualize it. So if that's, I don't know if Daniel or Bart, you want to add anything to what I just said about the values?
No, this is great. I think that's really adds some color to it. It's really nice.
Yeah, and let us know also in the chat if you have other ways that you have interacted with your values at your company, wherever you're working. I'm just personally curious to know. Send over your thoughts on that as well, because we're always looking into different ways that we can use our values. This is just one of them. But yes, I'll hand it over to, who should I hand it over to?
I'll take it over.
For you? Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Lila. Let's do some introduction from my side as well while I'm gonna share my screen.
Let me stop sharing mine.
Let's just do it like that. So my name is Wout, based in Amsterdam, working with Mural as Enterprise Transformation Manager, which means I'm helping our enterprise customers get the most out of Mural. So that includes like onboarding, technical onboarding, trainings, etc. And very happy to join a European team here today. And we're also joined by a special guest. So Shane, also based in Amsterdam, he will run the session with us today. Shane, do you want to quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Shane Smart. I work at workshop.design, and I'm a Mural enthusiast. I like exploring what we can do at the edges of Mural and how we can use the best features of it to pull more out of our days.
Amazing, yeah, and we all know that's true. Yeah, exactly, and we all know that's true. Like Shane teaches us things about Mural all the time. Definitely a power user. The definition of a power user, I would say, almost. Let me start sharing my screen, and we can have a look at what we're going to do today. While I introduce this, shall we also, I think we said we're going to invite like 2 people from the audience to join us as well, right? To break this down. Who wants to join? Write in the chat.
We need 2 volunteers. So if you would like to join us as a panelist, we would bring you here with, if you have your video on, that's even better. And if you want to join us in the actual mural and collaborate with us, that's great too, because that's the whole point of this Backstage Pass. So if you're interested in volunteering and getting involved, write to us in the chat.
Exactly, and then we can share.
Yeah.
So
we can already start, and then I'll keep an eye out on who would like to join.
Definitely, thanks, Lila. So we're going to start with with those values, and we're going to start by breaking them down, because Lila mentioned, hey, we have the values here and this text, but hey, we want to visualize them, right? We want to work with them. How can we do that in the most efficient way? I think breaking them down would be a good start. I do want to, let's do a quick voting session on which value we're going to focus on first. So with everybody, with all the 4 of us online now, let's vote and see if we can get a winner here. So let's just vote on the title of the values here and see what we can think about.
I'm also going to, so we have 1 volunteer, Martina. She is a beginner with Mural though, so we'll need to guide her a little bit.
Yeah, that's great.
So Martina, I just promoted, and Nina, I just promoted Martina to being a panelist. So hi, Martina. Remember, you can unmute yourself, and Nina as well, also beginner from Germany. So let's get Nina promoted to panelist. There we go. Nina as well. Oh, hi, Martina. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Then we have Nina.
Hello.
Welcome. So we're going to share a link with, I'll share a link just with Martina and, oh, are you doing that already?
No, you can do that. Okay. If you want. Then,
I'll send that to you each personally, Nina and Martina.
So okay. for people that are watching that are new to Mural, the way you share, where you invite others to join is that pink share button at the top. And from here, you can either send an invitation link or add people's email address here if you know their email address. So that's what Lila will be doing, and the rest will just be following in the screen share. Let's see if I end the voting session. I know Lila hasn't voted, but she's busy, of course. I know that. And we do have a winner. So as you see, Think Global got the most votes. 2 people voted for this. Not sure who, but I think this would be a good one to start with. So what we're going to do in terms of breaking this down is I'm going to copy this text to down here, actually, the value itself as well as the text. I'm also,
just wanted to say, I sent the link to Martina and Nina. So you should see some visitors inside the mural. Does it work for you, Nina and Martina?
Yes.
Perfect. We have an anonymous a ladybug, I believe, and a crab.
Yeah, ladybug, it's me.
There we go.
The crab.
Perfect.
great. So I'm going to ask to be followed, where you can see that actually Shane got started already with breaking this down. As you see, I mean, these are some tips around being able to edit text in Mural and how to get a better overview. So we made this text a bit bigger. Shane put in line breaks, which is basically done just by going in here, pressing enter to add these line breaks, and then you see, hey, this is already broken down the think global value in different sentences, right? So next step would be maybe to highlight some words in there, right? So like let's grab some words in there that we think could be made bold.
So which are we looking for keywords that are representing so who's going to highlight first of all? Maybe it's just one person, right, Val? Because only one person highlight, but we can tell you what to highlight.
No, exactly. I see the ladybug is actually going for it already, and I think that.
Okay.
No, that's great. That was you, Nina, right?
Yeah.
You keep on going. That's amazing.
Yeah. Go, ladybird.
So whoever is ladybird, maybe I would highlight as well. Yeah, Argentina. You just did it.
One of the great things about
Diversity.
pulling
Yes.
a piece of text apart like this is it starts to really get you to understand the individual concepts that you need to then start visualizing later.
Yeah, exactly. We see that from here, right? Diversity, maybe,
teammates,
customers.
Mm-hmm.
Internationally.
Yeah, definitely. What are we thinking? Is that?
Yeah, we could move to the next stage.
We can have a go with this, right? Yeah.
Yeah, looks good.
So what I'm just doing, and you saw me doing that very quickly, actually, I selected the text and then I pressed Control-D to duplicate. And then I'm adding that to the next stage and see like, hey, let's continue here and let's get the these different breaks into sticky notes, right, Shane? So like it just.
Yeah. So you can take if you take it at this point and you copy as text or select the text and copy it, then it'll create the sticky notes for you.
Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting it from the text box without selecting anything. I'm pasting and I'm dropping those in sticky notes.
There's also a trick. Let me see if it works. Yeah. So if you if I select the text on the left,
yep,
and it's already broken with line breaks, and if I, rather than selecting the whole text box and copying it, if I double click to edit and then I copy, when I paste, I automatically get a series of post-it notes appearing. Because of course, when you paste from Excel or another program and you want to generate post-it notes, the way Excel transfers it is as a series of line breaks. So you can quickly take any post-it note, add line breaks in the middle, and then divide it up into multiple, rather than copy pasting editing.
You're right. Let me show it on the screen share one more time so that everybody sees that. So I'm selecting this text, all the text with the line breaks in there. I'm copying that using Control-C. I'm going back to the white area here and I'm pressing Control-V, and you see it automatically breaks it down into sticky notes. There you go. That's much faster. And we can organize it into a column. Maybe we'll make it a bit bigger. And here we go.
So we can do the same thing now. I'll take the bottom one.
Yeah. So now we're gonna break them down into
Verbs and
right?
nouns. Yeah, we want to find the verbs and nouns, the things that we would have to illustrate as icons.
Yeah. Let's break those down.
How do you make a line break?
Using Shift Enter when you are in the sticky note. Yeah, there you go. And maybe one more, then you have the actual space in between as well.
Ah, okay.
There we go. And from this point onwards, we would do exactly the same, right? We would copy that text again and paste them into the next block. So here there is another sticky note was blocking it. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Curious to know from our volunteers, is this the first time you're using Mural, or have you used it before?
I've used it, but I'm still learning.
Great.
Also, we started to use it within our association, but yeah, not with many people together, just me at the moment.
Okay.
Maybe planning some workshops and so on, but not so much.
So this is a real collaborative experience for you, Nina.
Yes.
Great.
This is great. Does Martina or Nina, does one of you want to try copying that text as well and pasting it into
Yeah.
stickies?
Yeah, I was just going to ask again for the instructions. How do you make it go into separate stickies?
Yeah, so you would double click in maybe like the today spreading across the globe sticky note.
Yeah.
When you're in there, like select all of it and then press Ctrl+C to copy all the text.
Okay.
Then you click like just anywhere outside of it and press Ctrl+V. There you go.
Oh.
Almost like magic.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So that's a very quick way to manipulate text. And as Shane explained, that works really well if you come from other programs as well. Maybe you have data in Excel. You could copy data from the different cells in Excel in this similar way and continue working with it in Mural.
Cool.
Or maybe like something from an email, like a bullet list, things like that.
Yeah. If you're in PowerPoint and you go into a block of text and copy, it'll copy it. But more excitingly, if you're we've all been killed by PowerPoint, but it has one use, which is if you take a chart from there and paste it into here, it'll actually create an object with transparency. So you can create masks and transparencies and
Yeah, that's great as well. So now, which way shall we group these things, Shane? I think is there like a logic to these, or this is just the different values that we have here?
Well, so at the moment, what we could do is we've got a number of single words and we want to illustrate with icons. So that's probably the easiest way, the easiest prompt we can get for searching. So it would be for now to look at use the icon menu, try these words that we've got in front of us, and each one's going to return a whole page of icons. So it's up to us to choose which one we think best represents it in the context of the value. And we might like to choose, do we want filled icons or outline icons? Do we have a preference, or we could do both?
Let's do, I usually like filled ones, and maybe like to show the difference already, like to illustrate that people know what it is. It's the difference between these two in the top here, right? The left one is the filled one and the right one is the lined one. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a book and there's a book.
Right. Yeah, that's a better. And then we leave the text in there in the sticky notes and we just add the icon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like we have story. There you go. So our preference is these types of icons. Oh, I'll just make that green actually. Not these types of icons. There you go. So you have bit of an idea. And so now like everybody, I think, I mean, everybody got started already, but like just pick pick a sticky note that you want to find an icon for, and find it in the icon library on the left. I'm gonna do the same.
Another thing I would recommend is that if you're having an icon with a sticky note, if you just command and click the two and then right click, you can group them together, or command click the two and select command G, and then you can group the element to the icon.
Yeah, let me show that on the screen share. That's a good one, Daniel. So what I'll do here is I'm selecting both the icon and the sticky note. I'm pressing right click and group. So now these are one, they are together.
And it can be really good to try a couple of different variations. So because you never know how you're going to use the context of that word.
Sure, yeah.
So for example, grow is the company growing, the individual growing, the plant growing.
Yeah, so you're saying don't take the very best icon that you see, play around a little bit, try a few. Yeah.
Have some choice.
I also just, in the meantime, just added a link in the chat. So the icons that you're seeing in our icon library, they actually all come from the Noun project. If you're familiar with the Noun project database, it's basically a huge collection of icons that you can download as PNGs or SVG formats. And I just posted a link to an article. They interviewed David on our team, who is part of our design team, and he explains how icons and everything else we have makes visual collaboration much more easier in Mural. So it's all about the benefits of visual collaboration.
I learned recently that this Noun project actually has over 2 million icons in there, so that's pretty massive.
I love it. I also love seeing how there's new icons for some keywords that are always coming up.
Yeah, I like these more diverse icons. Now you see groups of men and women. It used to be just
Yes.
men, groups of men with stiff arms.
It's true.
In the icons on the, where is it, in the middle, there's a few around customers and competition. If you have some other ideas for icons, please add them there, because they're very, well, I mean, like pretty broad concepts that we can add different things to. So if you have any other ideas. For
which one did you say about team and customer? No.
Yeah, well, I will have to be followed, so you can follow me there.
Oh, there. Mm-hmm.
Here in the middle.
Got it. It's interesting. Sometimes you look for a word and you don't really see what anything that really is relevant to you, right?
All right, we have a duplicate.
Yeah,
these are the same.
Sometimes you need to go a little bit lateral on them.
Right, and look for another keyword.
Yeah, so I'm trying to do open, and we've got lots of doors, but I always think it's about people. So how can you have an open posture? You know, like when somebody presents, so I'm thinking, is it worship? Is it praying? Is it yay? You know, maybe that's going to find what open looks like.
Is there a yay sticky note? These are the icons that you added.
There it is. And how about that? There it is.
Yeah.
Open. There we go.
Yay. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. I like that. Embrace the hugging. Yeah, that's good.
Teammates, there's lots of choices. So often when it comes to when it actually comes to the part of assembling the visual alphabet, which we do next, the thing that makes it really easy to sketch is when you have full-bodied examples of people. So you have a pictogram or a ideogram which shows their full body, because then you can accessorize. So the same body with a judge's hammer or a pen is the judge or the artist.
How are we feeling? I think we have a lot of icons.
We have a lot of icons.
We don't have, like, for the story, there are some things we can add.
Yeah.
Bye, Frank. He just said he had to leave.
Thanks for joining, Frank.
Thanks, Frank. All right. I think we're pretty good. Are there any that we need to spend a little more time on? Across, maybe?
Where is that?
So something like across might be better represented with a combination once we see the context.
Yeah, exactly. Building a bridge.
Yeah. Of course, you can't get across the world with a bridge yet.
No, like.
So
Maybe something like this. So,
okay.
yeah, I think this is good. Should we group those icons together with the sticky notes?
Yeah.
We can do that in the background while I actually would hand it over to Daniel.
Yeah. Yes, perfect. Just make sure that you only group the icons to individual sticky notes, not all of the sticky notes to each other. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Just give me one moment. My computer is in German and I just need just 1 second. All right. Foundation. Where are you? All right. Well, there we are. All right, you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect. So now that we have our icons that we've added, what we're going to do here is go to step 3. So step 3 is to identify types and to categorize. So this is the framework that we're going to be working from. What we're going to do is we're going to take these sticky notes here and just put them in the bottom of this framework. I'm going to explain this before we do this. The framework, basically what it's doing is that it's separating your visual language into things, people, places, processes, and concepts. So when you think about something such as thinking globally, okay, like what are the things involved in thinking globally? Who are the people involved in thinking globally? What places are involved in thinking globally? The processes that go on internally to think globally, and what are the concepts? And we have those categories. So first, we're going to take the icons from the last exercise, and we're going to put them where it says list. And we're just gonna lay them out there as organized as we can, yes? So take these sticky notes with these icons and just drag them over here to the list. Just getting those in there. All right. And I see that we are battling to select.
Everybody's trying to grab everything.
Trying to grab everything. That's fine. All right. Okay, wonderful. And again, if you guys think that there's anything else that can be added to the list, just feel free to add any other sticky notes. Now that we have here our list, let us take a moment and think, okay, so where can these items be categorized? So what are the things involved? So this is going to be the visual language for thinking global. So I see Shane is putting people for we, and so what would such as grow, what would grow be? Grow, I consider growing to be, is that a process? Is that a concept? What do you think about? Would grow be a process or would that be a concept?
Yeah, grow sounds like a process, right?
Yeah.
Like a process. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, and again, you can ideate with your team because sometimes you might not agree. So just discuss like why is it that you put this there? Argentina, that is a place. So just
can we just all go ahead, Daniel, and just, I guess everybody's doing that, just moving. I had some internet connection issues, so I couldn't see anything.
No worries. Yeah, we got that.
It's fine.
It's yeah, lagging.
Here's an interesting one. Mindedness. It could be a concept, but it could also be a process.
And I would say that's a concept.
I would say that too.
And then embrace. Embrace would be, ooh, what's embrace? I'd say people, because we embrace people. And
culture, maybe also to people, or
which one?
culture.
Culture. Yeah, I would say that that's people. What would you say, Lila? Are you? since you're head of culture? Would you say it's people?
I would say it is people.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
I
So
put
again,
we in people as well.
Yeah, so it's really
Yeah.
interesting what we're discussing right now, because when we think about culture, we think about people. So there's kind of the aspect of our culture is our people, and then there's the aspect of how might you change a culture, which would be a process, or culture as a concept. And sometimes you might want to put them in all three and illustrate them differently in each case.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good point. It's funny because also if I see story in things, I also feel like saying story could be a process or a concept as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's valuable for us to put it in all of those. Maybe give it a different color.
Duplicate.
Yeah. If you just select Command D or Control D, you could just duplicate. So I'm going to take this and put it here. And yeah, I have to ungroup it to change its color, but that's fine.
You can actually double click on the sticky note and change its color.
Really? Oh, I
rock and roll. Thank you.
Every day.
Yeah, there's always so many features that I'm still discovering even after 6 years of using Mural. Or sometimes they're not new, but you just build a habit of doing something in a certain way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You gotta work with other people to learn these things, right? Because otherwise you're
Yes.
your own way all the time.
And that's so intuitive. Yes, of course, I just double click on it and then I access it and can change it. But...
Exactly.
I'm checking in with our volunteers here, Nina and Martina. How are you finding this so far? Are you following along? Is it too fast, too slow?
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
Good pace for me.
Yes,
And
for
actually,
me
I'll check
too.
in. Thank you. I'll check in with the participants as well. If you can tell us in the chat, doing like a midway check-in. Let us know how you're finding the pace. I know there's some beginners and then there's some people who have used Mural a lot before. So is it easy for everyone else to follow along? Jose says good pace. But feel free to say also it's not a good pace for anyone who... Just because we're all learning here as well. Thanks, Erica, for your feedback.
Okay. Okay, wonderful. So it looks like we've all kind of categorized and added our ideas in here. Just to give you an example of another, so this is from the book, actually, Visual Collaboration, where we've taken this template from, but this is a visual language for climate change. So you can see, and a really good idea, especially if you have like Mural for iPad or you're able to sketch, is not only to use icons, but you could also sketch out your visual language. So if you have really wonderful graphic designers and illustrators on your team, this can get super fun just to kind of decide what it is that you're going to use for your processes. You see that they've done like from things, people, and yeah, it's super cool. So now that we've done this, we're going to go ahead and think of our design. So we have to select a set to work on. So let's say we just had to choose one for today for time's sake. If we had to choose for people, places, processes, and concepts, which set would we want to work on to create a design? So perhaps we can actually do a mini voting session and we can decide on which one we are going to. So I'm going to make it just everyone gets 2 votes, or no, everyone gets 1 vote. Next. All right. And we're just
voting on?
We're voting on, do we want to focus on things, people, places, processes, or concepts?
So where do we vote? Because there's not a sticky note for one of those.
Oh, no.
We have
the sticky note first.
You have to have a sticky note for it. I just totally...
Maybe we can end the voting session for now.
End the voting session for now. Maybe we'll just discuss it. Okay, which one do we want to work on? And
I mean, we can put a sticky note for each real quick.
Okay.
Just so for everyone in the audience listening, when you vote on something in Mural, you will always need to vote either, well, you need to vote on an element. So it's going to be either a sticky note or, can you vote, I think, on an icon? I'm not, I think.
You need to vote on something that's really clear.
Yeah. It can be an image. It can be an image. It can be a GIF. Or if you say GIF, it's a GIF. But what we were missing here was this template you see is one big image. So if we would have all clicked on, even if we would have clicked on the words, it would have been stuck to an image. so we wouldn't have seen a result. By the way, I also shared in the chat a link to the visual collaboration book that Daniel has mentioned quite a few times. So you can see what has inspired us and where we got this method and template from.
Okay, so I'm going to start the voting session then.
There we go.
Session, and we're going to call it next step. We're going to give everyone one vote and begin voting. So I want to think processes. Perfect. So I can look here. It says 6 people are voting. It says the only person left is Val. Val and Shane have one vote left.
Thinking about this, it's only one.
Wait. I have to remove my vote, I think, because I must have clicked on something where I was not supposed to vote.
Oh, and if you want to remove your vote, all you have to do is shift click. So you can shift and click, and that removes the vote, and you can click again. And then
there
you
we go. I just did.
Perfect. So now
I think I clicked on something wrong.
Still says you have one vote left. Val, hurry up. Okay.
Yeah, I voted too, and it says I
Okay.
have. I think I'm the crab.
Now everyone's done. So we're gonna end the voting session, and processes won. Yay! So we're gonna go ahead and just copy over processes here. I also want to show off another little feature, just in case you want to time box your activities. If you just click on the timer here, you can actually set that. So I'm going to give us 3 minutes for the next activity. So now we select the set to work on and Teams icon selection ideas. Shane, would you like to elaborate a little bit on this step for us, please?
Yeah, sure. Actually, I was thinking there's 2 different ways that we could go with this. One is to say, if these are the most important things for us to create an icon library for, then we could take the work that's been done so far, look at the collection and see if we could come up more icons and come up with a set that really belonged together. So we have quite a different mix as we explore the different concepts. But how might we create a collection which was very visually similar? So for example, most of these drawings have an example of a person in it. Could we represent story with a person, as well as grow with a person, today with a person, etc.? So that's one way to do it. Maybe we could pick 2 different sets to work on because we have, what, 20 minutes left?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So that's one way to use it, is to expand the set. The other is to try and take these visuals and actually try and illustrate the original statement. So maybe we can start with the easy one, which is if we ungroup these Post-it notes and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different concepts to cover. Let's see if we can get a set of icons which covers all nine topics and really feels like it belongs together. So maybe one way we might do that is that okay, Daniel? I don't want to.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah.
That's what you asked me to.
Yeah, okay, definitely. Okay. No worries.
Okay, great. So let's say we have the original set here. So I just create some lines, and let's say we create 3 more sets. And a little bit like when we affinity map, we could say, let's organize the current ones that are there into a set of into 3 groupings where we think they're fairly similar. So I don't know what those 3 groups might look like, but for example, I might start saying something to do with today is like this. A cross looks like an arrow, so that's very symbolic. So I'll put those together. The cultural one is music. That seems very symbolic. I'll put that one there. So we try to form these columns, and then we might think about, well, what is the underlying drawing principle that we're seeing within this collection? Yeah, okay, cool. So it looks like the first one is emerging to be very human-centered. So that's nice. I believe that's Mural.
Yeah.
So this is about human. Could we call it human-centric? Would that be all right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have one which is symbolic. Sorry if I'm breaking time. Symbolic. Or we could say it's abstract. And then the third one is really a metaphor, I think. Would you agree?
Yeah, for a story, a challenge.
Yeah.
Place.
Metaphor.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like that. A bridge.
Yeah, great. That was for a cross, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So with that, we could now look at how might we complete the set for the ones that we don't have a matching icon for. So if we take this, these post-it notes on the left and consider that to be the grid that we need to align to, then do we have an answer for each of those in each of the columns? And which column do we want to proceed with? How do you want to choose the column that we think we should best use for our icon collection? Do we vote?
Ah, right. Yeah.
Okay.
We vote.
Let me turn the titles into more votable surfaces.
We can add icons now.
Yeah, so we could fill out all 3 sets and vote at the end, or we could vote now and fill out 1 set. Daniel?
I would say fill this out and vote at the end. Yes.
Great.
So.
Okay, so we have to match these 10, so we'll need to spread out our icons a little bit. And then we can also look for ones that are better. Because what we're trying to do is get 1 set that really belongs together within that column. So we'll need to go back to searching icons to complete those sets. But it's really this question here on the right. What are the icons that look similar? They belong together like a set. How might we expand on that? So it might be a bit more searching within or around the same word. Mm-hmm. So for example, spreading lacks a person. So I'm particularly interested in this human-centric idea. I think that's really the heart of what it is like to look at you all on Zoom and be working with you in the same space. It really feels like we're almost at a board game on a table. On a Friday afternoon, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I often like to listen to music when we do this. I wonder.
Yes, I have a playlist. I was just looking for it.
Oh, great.
But my computer has issues. Right, everything is really slow today. I don't know what's happening.
It's Friday. It's Friday.
It's like my brain on a Friday afternoon. We have a remote workshop playlist actually.
Oh,
so you usually have to, so there's 2 ways, by the way, of playing music on Zoom. You can either do it my way, which is now going to be that I unplug my earphones and play music through my speakers. But if I would be sharing the screen, I could also play the music through Zoom. However, that also reduces the volume of everybody else, so then I can't hear somebody speaking.
Yeah, Zoom needs to fix that.
Notice
that as well.
I wonder, what is the mental process people are using to find alternatives within the rows?
I'm just searching the words again.
Mm-hmm. And what about synonyms, maybe?
Oh.
Putting it in context of the place. So to travel, or the human form would be to walk. To ascend is to climb. Today might be your day. Today might be your day. Your lucky day. Sorry, please, music away.
I turn the music off because I realize if people are speaking, it can become distracting. So I generally just play it if there's going to be like a heads down, individual, silent 2 minutes. But I didn't know if it was distracting for you, so I just turned it off.
Do you want to keep us on pace, Daniel?
Yeah, let's just go. I'm going to set the timer for just 1 more minute. Yeah, so we'll have a little bit more time to put some sticky notes. Looks like we're almost done.
I'll play the music for the last minute.
For the last minute, so we can just keep adding these.
Does it work?
It does.
Okay. For the audience, I hope it's not too distracting.
All right, it looks like we're all done. So I'm just gonna go ahead and end the timer. All right, wonderful. So now that we have gone ahead and put out these sticky notes, we're gonna decide which of these columns that we want to work on. Yes, Shane, that is from my understanding. Yeah, so we're gonna see, do we want to work on human-centric, symbol, abstract, or metaphor? So do we want our icons and visual language to be human-centered? Do we want it to be more symbolisms, or do we want it to be metaphorical? So we're just gonna take a moment. I'm gonna start the voting session, and we're each gonna get one vote, and we're gonna decide from the 3 on the top, either human-centric, symbolic, or metaphor. I personally am gonna go for...
It's anonymous, you don't have to say it. We can all see your screen anyway, yeah.
No prizes for guessing.
All right, so it says 1 vote left. Lila, you gotta vote.
I gotta vote.
Yeah, you do.
Okay. I'm gonna vote on this. Done.
Perfect. So everybody's voted. It appears that human-centric has got the most votes, and then it was metaphor and abstract symbolism. So now we are going to go ahead and create some team icon ideas. So together in the last 10 minutes, we only have a few minutes left. We're gonna go ahead and take the sticky notes from here, and we're going to create an icon together using the human-centric approach. And yeah, so I think everybody can go ahead and start moving over the icons from human-centric.
This is probably a good point to note that when we thought about this, the layout for this particular one, we went with a vertical layout, but I think it might be more interesting to try and illustrate all those 5 sub-statements. And then we should use it in a horizontal layout. So I'm just going to move the shape of this area that we're working in, and we can rearrange the different sentences into a row instead of a column, and then maybe distribute them. If you want to talk us through that.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, Daniel, just before you do that, usually 10 minutes before we wrap up the Mural Backstage Pass, we do ask people to start leaving their feedback in the chat. So Robin just left. Thank you, Robin. Well, he's gone now, or she's gone. But if you could give us a number between 1 and 10 to let us know how valuable you found this session, and if you can leave a little comment with that, explaining why you found it valuable or not valuable, that would be great. So scale of 1 to 10, let us know in the chat. We'd be very grateful, and we really consider your feedback as a gift so we can continue improving these sessions moving forward.
Thanks, Leila. And sometimes you'll find that you need to have a concept, an abstract concept. So coming from Argentina and only showing people is a bit hard. It's easier to take the map. So I'm going to grab that one from the work you did earlier. I've never tried and try to create a vignette with icons with 5 people at once. Maybe we should choose one each, or perhaps choose a row to do. To be like too many DJs, you hear all the voices together.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Do you want
maybe it's
to
better
give an
to-
example, maybe, Sean? Like how?
Yeah. So let me just grab the. So usually there's some kind of action in it. So for example, today it's spreading across the globe. So we would have, I just put these ones down the bottom. So worldwide competition has challenged us to rise to higher standards. And then in that context, today it's spreading across the globe. So our story is spreading across the globe is actually the context here. So you could either represent just just spreading across the globe. You have people. You had a globe earlier, and that's an example of where you need to go back and look at your places in the library. I'm sure there was a globe and worldwide. So we take the pieces that we had from earlier, and we say, where are we? Today it's spreading across the globe. So it's our story. We chose to represent the story by people. So you might have our story is crossing the globe, and in this case, it's spreading across the globe. So you could represent it, perhaps you could take the idea of a globe and you could put it over the top. Or you might think that, well, globe, this icon that we've got for globe is good, but it doesn't serve me in this particular sentence. So then look for one of those spread out maps. And then that way you compose the scene rather than composing just the icons. You start composing what might it look like. If you take it very literally, what might it look like if we spread a story of people across the globe and try and think about it that way?
Daniel, sorry, can I ask you to zoom in a bit, just because on Zoom it looks a little bit, it's hard to also read. Perfect, thank you.
Maybe we have a couple of different attempts at it. So that's one version of spread across the globe. I'll put it down the bottom, but you might have another of a story spreading across the globe, or so worldwide competition. I see a lot of globes and worldwide in this illustration.
Yes, well, the initial value that we decided to break down or to visualize was think global. So that explains a lot.
Here's another interesting challenge that when we talk about teammates and customers, which were two of the people concepts that we got. So we obviously, we were choosing all the processes, but we still have to illustrate to get the whole statement. We still need to look at the people and the places. So with diversity, we have one people icon that we've selected at the moment. So that's an example of where you need to extend your visual library and really go into depth of more categories. So if somebody would, perhaps Leila, you wouldn't mind trying to find some more diverse icons.
Yes, I think we had a couple before that maybe have been removed in the voting processes. So let's see.
Another good approach that can help when trying to hunt for an icon is to take, once you've got the icon list open and you've found some that are interesting, is just to bring them all out by clicking on them and then arrange them in a row and then consider them individually in the context of what it is you're trying to illustrate. So I'm just doing that down the bottom to help you out with diversity. So here's a diverse set of people. Well, I say diverse, I've not zoomed in to look at them.
Oh, that was great. There are so many icons in here. It's incredible.
Yeah, once you start looking at really interesting topics. And it's a good thing to do is once you've got that visual alphabet is I usually just save it into a Mural where I keep all the collections together. So I have these kind of icon library collections, which you can then just very rapidly use. And of course, if you share that with your colleagues, then you have this common visual language that you're using. It's a very good book actually that by the Danish company, Big Picture, I think wrote it. Is that correct?
Yeah, bigger picture indeed.
Bigger Picture. Thank you for correct.
And Daniel, do you maybe want to? Oh, you don't. I was going to show to do like a demonstration of the content library, but I don't see. I see you don't have it.
No, not yet.
That's the best.
I do have it. Let's just give it.
Show
Let's
us,
give everybody
please.
a sneak peek of how, like a new feature that's coming in Mural, because Shane was just mentioning like saving like a collection of icons. It's like this is my visual library. I'm just gonna take this as an example here. These diverse icons here. So what I'm gonna do, I select all of these icons. I right-click on them, and then I click on Save to Content Library, if it allows me to do that. And I mean, I'm just gonna call this, I give it a name, diversity. Now you see it was added to my content library, and you can find it in the toolbar. There's a new icon here, this one. And you see it's here. So for now, the things that you save here will just be saved with their title. The visual representation of that is still being worked on. That's why it's still in beta. But the way that works, next time, if I'm anywhere else on Mural, any other Mural, I can just grab this diversity set and drop it in, and then I have it available for me. So this is your personal library of, for example, icons, as we're doing in this case, but also think about maybe an activity that you have developed that you want to reuse in other murals. You can save that into your content library.
Could you also repeat the reference you just mentioned, the book? I'll go and look for it so I can share the link in the chat.
Yeah, definitely. I have it here. We have it opened in part of the canvas, so I'll share that here.
Oh, great.
It's this book right here. It's called Visual Collaboration.
Well, I shared that earlier.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll share it again.
Yeah. Let me share it again. Maybe Jay missed it. Just ask in the chat.
And they're presenting this week on Imagine, I believe, or is it a workshop?
They presented yesterday. I was just gonna promote their workshop, but yeah, it was yesterday already.
Okay.
But we can promote Imagine. I'll do that in a sec. So Imagine is a series of events and talks and workshops that Mural is hosting. It's for free, of course, and we have some great speakers, both from our company and from other places. Oh, you're sharing that, Val. Great.
In the last minute, let me share the screen, and I will.
Yes, it's true. I just saw that the time is almost up.
I'll share the link to that as well. But indeed, sign up for some great talks here. These are the upcoming ones. And there will be new ones added here all the time. And also do check out the workshops. And one of the workshops was indeed, I think it is somewhere on here. Oh, of course, it's not here anymore because the workshop was yesterday. Oh no, here it is. Here it is. The 5 building blocks. Oh, they will repeat it. Okay, let's promote it. They will repeat it in the 25th of August. 5 building blocks of visual collaboration. I think that is will be a great workshop.
Yeah, there's a lot of visual collaboration books over the years, and what I quite like about this one is that it describes, you know, a lot of books tell you what to do, but this book really tells you how to do it, and that's such an important distinguishing feature. You know, we all engage many different companies to help us with things, but often what really levels us up in the world and gives us a better future is to understand the hows of things. We know what to do, world peace. What we don't know is how.
I'm gonna order the book right away.
That's a how book. It's really good.
And doing it visually it also breaks the barriers of language because everyone thinks visually in the same way. So I just want to say thank you everyone so much for joining today's session. We have ran out of time. We do Backstage Pass every Friday, and we have a new European time, which happens, I believe, the second Friday of every week. We will be announcing that soon. Thank you so much to our volunteers for coming in and joining us today. And yeah, so see you all next time. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Shane.
Thanks, Martina.
Thank you, the
Thanks, Nina.
volunteers. Bye.